finally, I want to show you how to submit the podcast to iTunes. And that was for me at the beginning also kind of like, how to do that? I was looking it up and it might change over the years, of course, but I think it will always be available inside of the iTunes software player, also for Windows applications. So as you can see, once you open it and you go to store, I'm in the iTunes application, then I found it down here on the podcast to see submit a podcast. So I know that this also changed because for some reason, I guess they changed it now in 2018, late 2018, we're in September, almost October. You see that you need to have, of course, an iTunes account. So this is my iTunes account. And then you basically see here that you have your podcast, the podcast analytics, and so on. And you can also clearly see that I tested one before. I had deleted this one. And then I told you also before I was uploading 3 files just for testing it as well, and it was rejected. And I was also already in contact with iTunes because I think there was nothing really wrong I did. And sometimes it can happen, I looked it up online, that your files, they just get automatically rejected. But I got a phone call with them, and I'm pretty sure in the next 24 to 48 hours I'm going to figure that out. So you might run into the same issues, and that's what I mentioned before as well. Never give up. Whatever you try at the first thing, I think it's always good to show errors as well, because that's what it always is. It's kind of like always a hustle, right, to go through, and it's tedious because things are not always going to work as we want, but that's normal. That's the procedure. What is important is to find a way to get over it and to understand, hey, this is totally normal. So then you basically saw here the plus sign, so I click on the plus sign, and that means now I have to enter my feed, the URL. Okay, so when you click on it, it says, this is in German, but it says basically enter your RSS feed. And when you go back, right, then let's see where I had it open here. Then you remember under the podcast channels in the PowerPress settings, you also see here the feed, and you can also click on edit again. And this is exactly what I was talking about before. You can click on validate, and this is the feed for that particular podcast or the web page, and then you just check it and you see if the feed is doing okay and everything you have been setting up seems to be fine, right? And that URL, that specific feed URL, what you found is actually what you have to enter here. So you see here 3 episodes have been uploaded. This is the artwork, the title, and the description, and everything you can see here seems to be fine. So again, in the PowerPress settings, you have here the feed, and of course I don't do this now because I already did it, but all you have to do is you click on it, or you copy, paste, and enter it, and then you see here this überprüfen is German, but that basically means check it before you send it, right? So you would click this. I don't do this here anymore because the other feed was sent and I have to wait. But you check it, you get usually green light, it's okay, and then you send it. You transfer the thing, and that's it. So all is done. That's all what you can do. And then you have to check your email and wait if the podcast got approved from iTunes or it didn't get approved. And if it gets approved, then maybe you're lucky, and in 48 hours, your podcast with your artwork shows up under a specific keyword, and you should put in some queries that you find yourself, of course, and you will be, as long as it was accepted from Apple, and then you're fine. So that's about it, and that's how you send your podcast to iTunes.